I'm gonna show you the skill tree and the weapons that I'm using, and then we're gonna kill Grave Ward. All right, so let's hop into this. So this build is mainly centered around the red tree. Clearly, so you're gonna put 5 points into Interplanetary Stalker, 3 into Leave No Trace, 1 into Second Intention just to get down it, 1 into Ambush Predator to get down it, 5 into Hunter's Eye. We're gonna skip 2 Fang because we're using extra pellet guns or multi-pellet guns, so this is basically useless. And then we're gonna go to Big Game, put 3 points into that for our hunter skills. We're gonna go to the Most Dangerous Game, 2 points into that to get down the tree. Don't necessarily need this one. You could, it's a good one, but you don't necessarily absolutely need it. You could put more into this or into this. We're gonna want Galactic Shadow, and then finally we're gonna hit the capstone for Megavore. Moving on to the green tree. We need some health regen for mobbing. And then Fury's Attack for more gun damage. Overlock to get down the tree. You could put 5 points into this if you want. I don't, because you don't really need it. Lick the Wounds for that extra revive from your pet. And then Turn Tail and Run to get damage reduction while we're moving, because we're probably going to be moving more often than not. Fast and Furious because we're most likely going to be above half health most of the time anyway. And then 2 points into this just to get down the tree to this, to the capstone, the power inside. Onto the blue tree. Now, like I said, you can save points into this if you want, and not and put them into here if you want. I don't, because it's really not needed. And of course, you got three points into Persistence Hunter, 2 points into Ferocity, 3 points into He Bites, and then 2 points into Frenzy. Like I said, you can save points in the green tree and in the red tree to put back into Frenzy. It shouldn't change it too much. You can play around with it. This is just what I feel is the best option for how I play. So onto the inventory that you are going to be using, not StackBot, but the RAKK Pack. RAKK Pack, or you're using RAKK Pack for your mobs, and then for bosses like Grave Ward, who I'm going to kill after this, your best option is for the StackBot. For the StackBot, the anoints you're going to be using on your weapons is ASE or RAKK Attack, whichever one. You probably want RAKK Attack for mobs. ASE is easier for bossing, so that's what I'm using right now. Just ASE. You're going to want the Old God. Do that plus 20 elemental damage. It doesn't matter what one, just make sure there's an ASE at the end. And then your grenade is up to you as well. Just make sure there's an ASE at the end. I'm using the Pearl. You don't have to use the Pearl if you don't want to. There's other ones you could use. But as you can see, I'm using the Flipper, the Monarch, the Light Show, and the Unkept Herald, because of the splash damage benefits I got from my RAKK Pack for the mobs. But for this one, I got assault rifle damage, so I'm going to be killing them with the Monarch. And that's pretty much the build. This is what I show here. I use the light show and the flipper for bossing, and the unkept herald, or the light show and the flipper and the unkept herald for mobbing, and I use the Monarch for bossing. Now I got god rolls on mine. You don't necessarily need god rolls on yours. You can have this build going pretty well without god rolls. I just have them on to show you the effectiveness of what it could be. Alright, let's dive in then. Wait for him to do this.
Distract them.
And you just melt them. Boss down. This is a very, very effective build. We're gonna kick him so I can show you the mobbing real quick. We're gonna go to Athena's. Basically what I'm gonna do, I don't have any RAKK attack weapons, so basically what I'm gonna show you is the fact that you don't need the RAKK attack for mobbing. ASC is just fine. But if you want to do better at mobbing with this build, you're gonna have to use RAKK attack. You're gonna have to get some RAKK attack weapons. I'm gonna switch over to the light show. And then we're gonna have a different old god on me. Isn't on my different characters? I do have a different old god on me. Alright, well I'm gonna switch over to my cryo resistant one. And then I'm also gonna switch over to my my RAKK pack. Here we go. Now the RAKK pack is also giving you extra damage because it gives you 2 more points into this. You can get one with +3, and it also gives you 3 points or mine also gives me 3 points into pack tactics, which all damage dealt by flak and their pet is increased, so that gives me even more damage. You don't necessarily need to switch to the RAKK pack either. Stack block works just fine on mobbing too. I'll show you that in a second. Basically, you just mow these guys down.
The hunt sings. You are forgotten.
Even the frostbite one, same element, it just goes down. Even a badass frostbite. Goes down without too much. This is all Mayhem 10, so. That if you want to get RAKK attack, that would be even better for the build if you want to go ahead and farm that out, but that's not needed. A simple ASE gun will do fine. As long as your ASCs doesn't match up, all of them should stack. And alright, now that we're through with this, I'm going to show you how to do it, how the stack block rolls. I'm showing you with two different ones because the stack bot is easier to get than the RAKK pack. The RAKK pack's hard as fuck to get. It took me a long time to get one, and I needed to wait till I got one to do this video. So let's go ahead and show you how the stack bot holds up. See, it's just as good. Just as good. Now you want multi-pellet weapons with this build. If you do put 5 points into the 2-fang, then you should go with weapons that aren't multi-pelleted, because it's literally just a useless skill. Basically, the build just does work, regardless of what you're doing. You get down, you just go right back up. Doesn't matter. Best part about StackBot, it's not reliant on ASE, like the RAKK pack mostly is. Now that I'm over here, so the passives on your StackBot would want weapon damage, splash damage, and crit damage if possible. You don't need all three. You could just have one and be fine. Same with the RAKK pack. The RAKK pack, you would also want splash damage, weapon damage, and weapon critical damage. And if you want to do a Jacobs one, you can get Jacobs crit on it. It's really good. Action skill damage is another good one for it. But yeah, that's the build, guys. Fucking thanks for watching. Have a good day.